What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Jack Does Science. In this experiment, we're going to be learning about the fragility of enzymes. But first, we've got to define our terms. What exactly is an enzyme anyway? An enzyme is a special kind of protein that acts as a catalyst for a chemical reaction. That is to say, it speeds up a chemical reaction that might take a lot longer to complete otherwise. Because of their complex shapes, however, enzymes are quite fragile. And if an enzyme doesn't have its natural shape, well, it's not able to do what an enzyme normally does. We call this process denaturation. This is when an enzyme loses its shape due to external circumstances. And we're going to see exactly how that works in this experiment. So let's hop over to the kitchen and we'll get started. What do you know? All right, so once again, let's make sure we have everything. First, you're going to need a pineapple, a small Jell-O box, anything will do, a blender.
Is that a blender?
3 small bowls. Okay, you know what? Maybe not that small. That's a little better. A pot. Think fast.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
A tablespoon. And if your house doesn't have a stove or a refrigerator, then this is probably not going to work. And just to review, our question is, what happens to an enzyme when its temperature is increased or decreased? So maybe take a second and think, what's your hypothesis? What do you think is the answer to this question, just off the top of your head? Now, for this first step, you're going to want to cut the pineapple to remove any of its skin. Now, I want to keep it PG, so I'll spare you all the gory details. But let's cut the pineapple.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now that I've cut up my pineapple into some reasonable sized pieces, I'm gonna go ahead and toss them into the blender here. Okay, yeah, so this is what it should about look like. Not super appetizing looking, but it should be that sort of quality. Ultimately, we're gonna need about a cup's worth of this stuff. All right, let's let that sit for a second while we make our Jell-O. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pour my Jell-O in. So I'm gonna stir it up like so, and we're gonna wanna make sure that the Jell-O is completely dissolved as possible. I'm gonna go ahead and take a tablespoon of this pineapple stuff, and I'm gonna put it into one of my small bowls over here. So now I'm gonna take the rest of this pineapple juice that I haven't used, I'm gonna pour it into this pot, and then I'm gonna put some heat under it. And we're gonna let this run for about 5 minutes or so. Make sure to stir while you do this. Okay, so now that this pineapple mixture has gotten nice and bubbly, I'm going to go ahead and take a tablespoon of that, and I'm gonna put it into this bowl right here. And I'll tell you one thing, I'm definitely not eating the rest of this leftover pineapple. All right, so now I'm gonna take my Jell-O liquid, and I'm gonna pour 1/3 of it into each of these 3 bowls. The one in the middle here is the one that has the room temperature pineapple. Whoops. And so I'm just gonna take a second and stir the middle one here with the pineapple in it. All right, so now we've got our 3 bowls here, right? Hot temperature pineapple, room temperature pineapple, and, well, no pineapple at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave these in the fridge for a couple hours and, well, Jell-O going Jell-O. Sleep tight. All right, rise and shine. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, so now that we've got our 3 stooges of Jell-O all out of the fridge here, let's take a look-see. So this is the one that is just plain Jell-O, right? No pineapple or anything at all. It's pretty good. I think I'll eat the rest of that. As you can see here, this hasn't gelled at all, right? So this is the one with the pineapple that we left at room temperature. So this guy here is still liquid. After 4 hours in the fridge, no gelling whatsoever has happened to this bowl. Now, this third bowl here, the one in which we put the heated pineapple, that's where things get a bit more interesting. So remember at the beginning how we said that enzymes are very fragile, right? And that the process of denaturation is when the enzyme gets broken down under extreme circumstances, like heat, for instance. So when we turned the heat on under the pineapple, we were killing off that enzyme that would have stopped the chemical reaction from happening to form the Jell-O. However, I probably didn't keep the heat running for quite long enough, so I don't think all of the enzyme in the pineapple got killed off. So I think this is why we have this mixture here. It's sort of a jelly substance, but it's a lot more watery than this pure Jell-O over here, right? So yeah, I think if I left the heat under this one for a bit longer, it would have killed off the enzyme and it would have become just like this Jell-O right here. And there you go. We've just seen the process of enzyme denaturation in real time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, remember, don't forget the protein.